Hey everyone, welcome back. It is time for Back in Time Brothers podcast. I am DJ Paulie, and as always, my sidekick and partner in crime, my brother Lou, is in the house with us tonight.
Hello there, episode 6.
Wow, we made it to 6 already, huh?
Yeah, and there's no stopping us, man. We're going.
No, we're going full speed ahead.
The Fiero is going to continue to mosey on down the road.
It's funny, I saw a Fiero today.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not even kidding. It was a 1985 Fiero GT.
Oh, I remember the GT. Did it have the spoiler on the back?
Had the spoiler on it. Looked a little bit better, but yeah, it was parked, so it was probably broken down. I was pretty sure.
Count on it.
Just like mine in the garage, broken down. But
what color was it?
It was white.
A white one.
Yeah,
okay.
Mine was silver.
Yeah, just like the DeLorean.
Just like the DeLorean. Except that one actually worked.
Yeah.
But anyhow, last week we had kind of a special episode. We talked about some of the concerts we went to and brought back some great memories, man. It was a lot of fun talking about that, and left some things up in the air with rugby. We didn't really finish off with rugby, but I think we're going to touch on that today. And before we do that, though, I know we haven't really talked a little bit about all the people that have been downloading our broadcast and listening, but we are worldwide, and we're going, obviously, picking up more states as we go. So I thought maybe it'd be fun, Lou, if maybe you talked a little bit about some of the new countries or new places that have downloaded our podcast.
Yeah. I think because we're now on, besides Apple Podcasts and Overcast and stuff, Spotify now, we're starting to see some action on Spotify, which is really cool.
Awesome. Yeah.
And then I think at some point we'll be on Amazon and Audible. So just look out for that. But as far as countries, I know we talked about, we wanted Canada and we got Canada. So I'm going to go ahead and just go down the list here. So okay. U.S., we talked about India. So we got U.S., India, Pakistan.
Okay.
Pakistan representing, Canada, Hungary.
Hungry.
Yeah, I'm hungry, actually.
I am too. I might go have a sandwich after this. Yeah.
All
right.
And then Germany.
Germany. That's right. Good. Yeah, very good.
Yes. Austria.
Okay.
Nice.
And that was Austria was Arnold, right?
Yeah.
Get to the chopper now. Do it. Yeah. Yeah. All right.
And then the new one is Japan.
Domo arigato,
Mr. Roboto. Yes.
We'll get sticks on a special episode for us. They can sponsor us also. Huh?
I would like that. That would be good.
Maybe they can do the new theme song for Dairy Queen with Bader if he picks up our sponsorship. Domo arigato, Mr. Dilly Bar. I don't know. It probably doesn't sound good at all, but
yeah.
So we hit
Japan.
That's awesome. That's good.
We're going to take Japan by storm. So
yeah.
We're in we've got 112 cities.
Awesome.
And 30 states.
20 down, 20 states to go.
We got 20 states to go. Yep. Can't wait for Hawaii and Alaska to get in. So that would be kind of cool.
People, if you have friends in Hawaii and Alaska that you're listening to us, share the link with them and have them listen to us. We'd love to get all 50 states, and that'd be cool.
Yeah, on my wife's side, there's family up in Alaska, so we'll have to try to get out there.
That should have been done right away,
That should have been, you're right.
That's
gosh.
On me.
That's on me.
Yes, it is. Yep. That's okay. That's okay.
So we got some decent feedback from the concerts episode. That was fun. I know my boys really got a kick out of it because obviously we mentioned them a little bit and they've been a part of concerts and such. I saw some comments from people that had chimed in as well and some messaging. So it's really good to see, and we appreciate everybody's feedback. And it was a different episode for us because we really just centered on a special theme there.
Yeah, it wasn't about, we're basically just talking about the concerts we went to. And some people might not have been interested in that episode. And not every episode is going to be a Grammy or an Oscar for us, but there's going to be some things that hopefully everyone will get a little bit out of them, something that might bring them back to maybe their first concerts that they went to or something to that effect. But it was a lot of fun talking about, especially the Stones with Mom and Dad. That was a lot of fun reminiscing about that time with them. And Mama Bird did like that one. So she said her episode was a little long, though. I'm going to tell you.
There was some criticism. You're right. Yeah. Mama Bird, so no worm for Mama Bird, I don't think.
But is it really weird that we didn't get any criticism from Mama Bird? Come on. Let's get real here. And speaking of which, also on our Facebook page, we have some top fans now, which is great on our page.
Oh, nice.
Stacy Matlock, one of our top fans, Chris Curley from Bismarck, North Dakota, and guess who our third top fan is?
Mama Bird.
Mama Bird. Yes, it is. she's number 3. So you're slipping, Mom. You're slipping. Yeah.
All right. We got some work to do. We need to get some more top fans, I think.
Yeah, we do. But thank you for those 3 at least. And
that's nice.
And then people that have been interacting with us, we appreciate that also. So thank you guys and girls.
Yeah.
So where are we gonna start off at, Lou?
This weekend, I had a chance to have breakfast with my son, my youngest son, and we started talking about the episode, and he really liked listening to the rugby years, and felt that I didn't do justice to the band, that I didn't spend enough time talking about the band, and he'd like to hear more of that. And then my wife said, "You know what? You didn't spend much time talking about the band. I think you just touched upon it. I think I got the message that I better talk about the band a little bit."
I think you need to talk about the band. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I think you should. You did talk about it, but I guess I was expecting a little bit more myself. I'm not going to lie.
I'm someone who I like to be in the background a little bit. I don't like to kind of share a lot of stuff. That's probably not a good thing for a podcast, but thankfully you're here to carry it.
I think the band was a big part for you and all the members of the band. So it's something you should spend some time and talk a little bit about. And I'm not saying we have to dedicate a whole episode to it, but I think you should talk a little bit more. There's definitely some other things I'm sure that you could speak on, so that obviously your family will be happy with that. So you better make them happy. Trust me.
I better do that.
Yes, you better start working on that right now.
So when we last talked about the band and the revolving door of vocalists that we had, right, I want to spend a little time just talking about individually. Number one, they all made contributions. My brother-in-law, who's passed, Eldon, was a really good singer. And when I was talking to my wife about it, he enjoyed the country stuff. He loved the dance stuff. He was a really good guy and just did a great job, and certainly miss him a lot. And Absolutely. We talked about Troy, kind of the crooner, and singing to the ladies. Yeah. And then we just briefly mentioned Lois. And Lois, she was a country singer. And once again, anytime we wanted to play something a little bit heavier, it was always a little bit of a challenge. But she did a really nice job. And every now and then one of her best friends would sing with her. We'd have some duets and stuff. And that was a lot of fun. Okay. It was really good for events that we would play. I remember we went to a nursing home. And we actually played at our bass player, Brian. His father was a doctor. And so they thought it'd be nice for us to go and perform there, and they'd really get a kick out of it. So we did do that, and Lois was really good about playing all the country and the soft songs. And we just remember what a kick everyone had out of playing. And I think the hardest thing that we played was when we played Wipeout, and that was always a staple of any performance we had. We always play Wipeout because it was number one as a chance for me to feature the good solo work on that stuff normally, and then it was just a fun song, and everybody loved the song. So he says normally, but it was 99.9% of the time he nailed it. Yeah, so it's our signature thing. So that was a lot of fun. So then we got John Erickson, who was the guy we talked about year behind us, and he was the guy who could rock, he could sing the softer stuff, he could sing country, he could really sing it all. I think at that stage, our band became more complete. And so we had talked about building these longer sets, being able to carry over 4-hour concerts and stuff, because when you do a dance or something like that, you usually do 45 minutes, take a 15-minute break, then do another 45 minutes. So we were able to do that, and it was a lot of fun. And I just remember we would just get so excited for each of these gigs that we would have, and you get so amped up. And there's just nothing like it. I know sports people, when they get on the court, they get excited. Well, when you're, a musician, you get excited to play. You could be in concert band and you get excited to play.
Yeah. I agree 100%. Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
So we would get psyched up, and there was nothing like playing to, obviously, your friends out there and classmates. And I remember that we tried to progress the stage show every time we played. We wanted to have, besides, I had a pretty nice drum set. It was a 7-piece. It was white, so it looked really nice.
Yeah.
And so that stood out. And then I remember we wanted to take our stage to another level. And so then we added lights, and we actually, like, some guy in shop went ahead and built us lights. And it's funny because they were just 2 wood boxes on each side with like colored lights. And then you would flip these switches, like regular light switches, and you would just hit them, and then you would just create some lights. And then if you really got crazy, we'd bring out the strobe light, and then it would just turn into a complete, chaos, because it's so hard to play and keep the beat to strobe lights, because as a drummer, you've got a beat in your head, and you try to keep the beat, and then the strobe light comes on at a completely different beat, and then you're just like, it's nuts. We had some challenges with that, but it's always a great look, because if you're rocking out and you've got, and I remember, here's the other piece, then we also got the dry ice machine, and we got the fog.
Awesome stuff.
So you do the fog, you got the strobe light, you got the lights.
Yeah, it gives you a whole effect. It's a whole effect that makes it look like a big time rock concert compared to we're playing in front of a black curtain or a curtain.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah, yes. I agree with you. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I think we really enjoyed taking it to that level and putting on a good show. And it was very spontaneous what we did. Our guitar player, Mark, he'd pretty much do a lot of the talking in between. But then when John really established himself, he was pretty much commanding the stage. And me and Brian were the rhythm section in the back, and we're just looking at each other and always keeping the beat and keeping it moving. But the fun thing was when we decided to go another step further. So we decided we want to have the drums elevated.
Okay. On a riser.
Yes, but it wasn't just like a little 1 foot, 2 foot riser. We put up scaffolding, and I forget how big the scaffolding is, but it's got to be like 4 feet up, maybe
4 feet, 3-4 feet. Yeah.
Yeah. So we built this, we got the scaffolding, we put plywood down. And so the drums just fit on this contraption.
Okay.
And so if I wasn't careful and I'm playing too hard, I could literally fall off the back and fall off my throne. And it was just like, so I was just almost terrified to death while I was up there. And it moved a lot as you played.
Sure. So you're lucky. You're lucky you didn't fall ever.
Never fell.
Okay. So that's good. Yeah. That's good. Because if we had YouTube back then, you'd be on YouTube.
Yeah. And then just the movement. So when you're rocking, you had an up and down movement. That's not necessarily to the beat of what you're playing. Then you got strobe lights and you had all this crazy. You got just too much going on. It was great.
But what you did was you took this band, this local kids all got together, this band, and you created something pretty big with this, adding lights, adding a stage, giving this effect of, we're not a small town band, we're bigger than that. And that's what you guys did. As your little brother, I remember like, my brother, he's a drummer in Time. You had people that followed you, all the girls in high school, all the guys in high school. It's like, oh yeah, Time, man. You guys had hats. I'll never forget you had hats. They were blue hats with black lettering. It said Time on it, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And people wore those hats. And so it was pretty cool. And I remember that. I remember what a big deal it was. You guys were the local celebrity. If you think about it, you really were.
We probably felt like that. There was times where we just felt like that was cool. We loved the attention.
You should,
right?
You should feel it. It's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. When you played a show and people were excited for you and afterwards would hang out and wait for you and things like that. All that stuff. I get it. The bands that have the groupies and do all that is cool stuff. And not that we had necessarily groupies, but I'm just saying I understand why people get into it.
You did have groupies. You did.
Yeah. No.
They followed you around. Yeah.
So, but I think it's pretty darn cool to experience that.
It absolutely is, and I can relate to what you're saying with that. I get it, and so we've both been in that aspect where we've had that, and so it's a great feeling. It really is. It's cool. Your head gets really big. It's like, wow, I can't get to the door. I got to go sideways now.
I don't know if that ever happened, but it could.
It could absolutely, sure, it could for sure.
So then, with the scaffolding now, the problem is you had the front that was open. So we decided to go ahead and we commissioned a local artist to create a piece of art that would essentially cover the 4 foot by, I don't know what it was, 8 foot, 4x8. No, if it was that much, 4x6, whatever the size of the scaffolding is. And he did a time painting. And what he used was, if you ever noticed or ever seen the Salvador Dali painting of the clocks that are melting, the melting clocks.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
That's what he did for us. And it was really cool. And so now and put time on it. And so now we had that signature, what you want on stage and on the drum set and that type of thing. So that was pretty cool.
You lived what pretty much every kid has dreamed about doing. Essentially, that's what you did. You lived that part. Every kid talks about, we're going to start a band, we're going to make it. You guys did that all through high school and lived all those little kids' dreams of, I'm going to be a rock star. And you guys were basically the rock stars of Rugby, North Dakota. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And we had a great time for the few years that we played. And like I said, we played weddings and dances and parties, and we played outside. We played in farms where we would set up on the flatbeds and we'd play on that. Yeah. There's just
that's cool stuff.
A lot of fun things that we did. And it's great that the guys are still together. We haven't kept in touch with our singer, John, but I know where he's at and certainly hope he's doing well. And just really appreciated the bond that we all had and the fun that we had playing.
That's awesome. That's what it should be about. That's what it should be about. And you guys are still friends to this day, which is awesome. That's pretty darn cool.
So I was just this last February on Valentine's Day, I got to go up. My friend Mark, the guitar player, got married for the first time. Mm-hmm. And so I had the opportunity to go up and so the three of us were together, me, Brian, and Mark, and we got to celebrate his wedding, and we had just a wonderful time up there. We were up in California and Santa Rosa area. And it was just like we get together. We've always been together. So we don't miss a beat. And it's a lot of fun. So what was really cool was when we were done with the wedding, the reception afterwards, all the bugles, I didn't really know this, that they all play guitar. Every single one of them. All the brothers.
I did not know that either.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, they all had guitars with them. And they're like, God, Lou, we thought we wish you had a drum set here and everything. And so they start pulling out, boxes and a foam cooler. And then they found some wooden spoons. And we went ahead and jammed, which was really funny. And we played Wipeout.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then we just played some other tunes. But it was the first time I played with Mark in, over 30 some years. So,
and I think I saw a video of you guys doing that.
Oh, really? I didn't even know there was a video.
I think Mike sent me one or something.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. So that's pretty awesome. Yeah,
that's funny.
Cool stuff. And also too, Lou, let's talk a little bit more about the drumming real quick. But you did win a very prestigious award.
So let's talk 1982. And that was a great year. Band was together. We were graduating. So had the opportunity that year I went to state. We also got selected, me, Brian, and Peggy got selected to play with the United States Collegiate Wind Bands, which was out of Purdue University, to tour Europe that summer. Then let me think if there's any other ones. And I guess then the big one was that a few of us were nominated for the John Philip Sousa Award, which is the top musician in the band, and thankfully I won that award. But to be quite frank, I think they all were fantastic musicians. I think what happens is the drums can be a little bit flashier. And I've just found that I'm probably more of a performer than I'm necessarily a pure musician.
Okay.
I could play some of the other percussion instruments, but I think that when I look at the other people that are up for that award, they had some really good musical chops, but certainly very honored to win that award.
And yes, ladies and gentlemen, he is humble. You see what I mean? Humble. You were good at what you did, man.
Yeah, but I think they were better musicians.
Well, so be it. But you won the award, and that's that. So there's no going back. It's done. Congratulations on that, man. That was a big deal. I remember that, how proud I was of you as your brother. And because of you is the reason why I went and played drums in junior high. That's the only reason I did it, because of you. I was not even remotely any close as good as he was, trust me. But Not even close. I was more into the choir. That was my deal. But yeah, and it was fantastic. That was a great senior year for you. What a way to graduate and tour Europe and to win a prestigious award like that. It's amazing stuff, man. There's people that will never get to do any of that kind of things, and you did all of that. That's pretty darn cool.
Yeah, 82 was a great year, and then when you look back, you hate to think that, oh my God, you're never gonna experience anything bigger than that. And at the time, there's your high school senior year. Your high school year should be just wonderful years that you just think back upon.
Absolutely.
And I certainly do that. And they're fond memories, great friends, people that we hang out with still to this day, people that I stay in touch with. As a matter of fact, we got together, oh gosh, this was maybe 5 years ago or so. We got together at the Moon Dance Jam in Minnesota. And several of us from our class got together and we got to do a 3-day concert. We rented a cabin and we stayed out and just had a blast. And when it's just great to be with people that you just feel comfortable with, you had great times with, and you still can share all these great memories with. So much fun.
That's awesome. That's great. Yeah, that's really cool. And 82, when you were graduating high school, I was graduating 6th grade. So I was going into middle school. Middle school. So that was a big change and a big different kind of thing, because here I was at Little Flower up until 6th grade. And so going to junior high, you were mixed with everybody. Everyone was blended together. So all the kids from Eli Elementary went to junior high, and all the kids from Little Flower went to junior high. So a lot of these kids didn't know so much, maybe, that kind of thing. And rugby, I know as big as rugby is, you didn't know them, but you did know them. But it's just, you had your own class for the last 3 years and you were stuck with those kids.
But you knew some from Ely, right?
I knew other kids from playing baseball, soccer, that kind of stuff. So those sports, we mingled with the other kids and everything. But junior high for me was a lot of fun. It's because you started like going out and doing things a little bit more. When you were like in grade school, it's just kind of, you're in grade school, but middle school, you got like school dances, and you start doing more. There's more sports, and we're traveling to different towns to play football. And I was in choir, and I was singing and going to competitions and things like that. And so that was a lot of fun.
So it's pre-high school. You're out of elementary. That's when you start you start developing that cool factor.
Cool, and you spread your wings a little bit. You're going out there and throwing yourself out there. And I know Mom's listening. There's going to be things that I might say in here that she's going to be like, "Oh my God, really? You were doing that?" Yeah. But we were going out, sneaking out at night, and hanging out with our friends, and hanging out in Ellery Park. Me and a girl, and I'm going to say her first name, Marley. She and her friends, we all would get together at night, and we would ride mopeds around at night. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times it was like people's mopeds that they would leave them outside, but we knew them, and we would just jump on them and take them and go drive around. Just drive around and things like that.
There's scooters and all kinds of things all over the place you can grab.
Yeah, exactly. Just steal them. Yeah. But we brought them back and put them where they belonged. But it was fun. We would just do things like that. And we didn't do that in grade school. It was, like you said, the cool factor. It was like, we're trying to be a little bit cooler and everything. Yeah. You're growing up and taking chances and maybe doing a little bit more things you wouldn't do when you were younger. Mm-hmm. You're hanging out with other kids, and they're inviting you to different things you hadn't seen. I don't know,
Right.
Allegedly, yes. That's I'm not even going to say it. Letterkenny reference there, allegedly, everyone.
I think we should try to get in at least one like Easter egg of Letterkenny, just a little reference, throw it in there at each episode.
I think so. Yeah. I think we could do that. There's definitely the snipers were much better when I got into middle school.
You're right.
Oh yeah, there it is. Snipers. Yeah, no, it was like now it's okay. There's like the boyfriends, girlfriends, there's dances, there's all these things that are just amazing. And one of the memories I remember, and I don't remember the radio station, and I'm sorry.
KGCA, right?
Was that what it was?
I thought it was KGCA. Dan Sunby, KGCA.
Dan Sun, and there was another one too, another guy. He was actually my soccer coach one year, him and Sunby.
Okay.
And they were from the radio station. Both of them were jocks there. But yeah, if we're wrong on
it's KGCA because it was Geographical Center of America. KGCA. Okay. Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. And I remember, and I don't remember what day it was of the week, but everyone would listen to the radio and everyone would call in requests, and it was the
Classic.
dedications.
Yeah.
I want to dedicate, REO Speedwagon from, and everyone would listen on the radio. And then the next day in school would be classic. It's, oh, okay. And then he started knowing who liked who and who was dating this one and things like that. It's just funny.
Yeah.
And then the big thing was girls asking to wear your jersey at the games.
Yeah.
When you played football, the girls were like, can I wear your jersey at the game? And no, your practice jersey or whatever. Cause we only had one colored jersey in middle school. It was the orange one, but we had our practice jerseys that had our numbers. They were white with black numbers, and they had our names on the back. And I remember, like, right at the beginning of the week when there was a game, like, they're like, can I wear your jersey? Can I wear your jersey? And you had everyone trying to wear jerseys and things like that. So that's funny. So
that is cool.
And it's nice having a girl ask you to wear your jersey. That means,
oh, heck yeah.
Okay, well, she might like me or whatever. But I remember just the dumb things in study hall, passing notes to each other and things like that. And that's actually how I got my first girlfriend in middle school. She passed me a note in study hall.
That's cute.
Telling me to meet me in the library.
Ooh.
And I went down to the library. I got a pass to go down to the library.
So why the library? What was
because you could get a pass to go down there.
Okay, gotcha.
And so then you could talk, be like, okay, hey, in study hall you couldn't talk or whatever. And principal I think it was Mr. Ryerson was the principal. He was a mean guy. He was like, ooh, big guy, mean looking. And I think he was in our study hall that day. And so we couldn't go down. We couldn't do anything, talk. He would yell at us. And she tells me to go down there. And I go down there and I said, hey, how are you? And we're talking. And she's, do you want to go out with me? And I was like, okay. That was it. Yeah. It was really twist my arm. Really. Yeah, that's it. It's a tough one. I remember walking her home from school and that was my first girlfriend.
That's great. Funny. That's school life, and that's small, that's big town, small town, whatever. But the small town stuff is nice because walking home from school, a lot easier to do in those situations. And
right. Yeah. Carry her books and walk.
Yeah.
You can do that. And the song that we always dedicated to each other on the radio was 38 Special, Caught Up in You.
Nice.
Always remember that.
That's awesome. That's a great memory.
Unfortunately, she's no longer with us. She's gone. But yeah.
And you used to phone in and you try to get, was it Mellow Yellows or something like that? Was that what it was?
Oh my, yes. Oh my God. I remember.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So they would have like trivia questions.
Okay. Yep.
Or they'd play like a part of a song and they'd be like, so caller, you win a case of Mellow Yellow. And I'd be like, I think I had like 20 cases of Mellow Yellow at home or something like that.
Yeah, I remember. They were just stacked up.
I got to a point, I think they told me I couldn't call anymore.
That's right. Like that. I think I remember you saying that. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I'm banned.
You've already won
calling.
Too many. Yeah.
I'd go to school and like, damn, Paulie, you won like another case of Mellow Yellow. I'm like, yeah, you want some? So I got some at the house. Selling it. I was selling it. But no, I won. I think it was like so many cases. And I think I remember I used to call you up if I didn't know the answer. I'd call you up at Lori's and be like, what is this?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd be like, Lori, ask Lou what this is. And she'd be like, okay, hold on. And I call back and I get through and they're like, our winner, Paul Lorenzano. Yeah. Again. Yeah, it was ridiculous. But those are just, and I also remember the dances too, how it was so funny how like you see movies where the guys are on one side and the girls on the other. It was like that. The guys were scared to dance fast. So when the slow songs came on, boom, everyone went to try to get a girl to dance with the slow song.
Yeah, that's the go-to though.
Right, of course. But the fast songs, little girls in huddles, circles, and the guys on the side hanging out on the side talking. And in eighth grade, I do remember it was like the beginning of like breakdancing. I think we talked about that in one episode about Madonna, things like that. So then here we got these guys in the gym trying to breakdance, which is hilarious. It looked rough. It was like the Cotton Eye Joe with a seizure. It was bad.
I was just picturing cowboy boots and people. Yeah, that's great. Cotton Eye Joe. I love that.
They're just on the floor shaking. Oh my God, what's going on? But it was funny though.
He's breakdancing. That's what that is.
He's breaking something. But it's funny how even just how big that fad was. It was everywhere. It was all over the United States. North Dakota, you got kids breakdancing and popping and doing that kind of stuff and doing those things. Electric Boogaloo, yeah, breaking and all that stuff. So it was funny as well. But, that was eighth grade. That was, 84. And, of course, obviously, we moved in 84, which is just something we don't like talking about. But it is, unfortunately, part of our history and where it came to. So.
Yeah, the rugby years were just wonderful years. I met my wife, had wonderful times there. You had great times there,
Oh
great
yeah.
friends.
That I'm still friends with today.
Yeah.
A lot of
Oh,
them
yeah.
still. Marley, one of my great friends, she lives in Bismarck here, and our families are close. And there's so many other people that I've kept in touch with and see along the years. It's great. It's great that even though I haven't seen any of these people in 30 years or whatever the case may be, I never left. They like welcome me. Hey, how are you? Like, good to see you kind of thing. And that's such a great quality in people.
You know what I love about North Dakota is that the values are there, the people are just friendly, and they're people that will help you anytime.
Oh yeah.
It's when you need help, they're there to help you. And when I was there last year for your birthday,
Oh yeah.
I remember, and we had a great time. And I remember all the people that came out to wish you happy birthday, had dinner with us, and then we had that nice event up on the roof and everything. And I just sat there and I'm like, wow, this is great. I'm just so happy that you have such great friends. We're not able to see each other as much. And knowing that you have that kind of life in Bismarck with great friends that support you and then you've done just so many cool things there. That's great. Just makes me feel so good and happy for you.
I appreciate that. And people have asked us, they want to know our story about how we came back to North Dakota after we left. And maybe that's not a bad thing to talk about right now. Maybe it's a good time because leaving North Dakota was very tough. That was a difficult part for me, for you. I didn't want to go. I wanted to stay.
Yeah.
I was mad at my parents, like saying we're moving back to Jersey. And I was like, I have friends here. I had a girlfriend here. I'm happy. Like, I want to be here. I want to stay. And I'm going to tell you, this is funny. I remember leaving, okay, sitting in the car and looking back as we drove away. And my girlfriend was on the corner. And I'm looking back at her driving away. It's like a movie almost. And I had my little like boom box in the back seat.
Mm.
And you know what song I was playing?
Caught up
The
in
whole no, I was
Oh.
playing Against All Odds by Phil Collins. The entire
Oh,
I was like sitting in the backseat like like almost
yeah.
crying. And my mom and dad are like, "Oh, you're gonna be fine." Really? I'm fine. I'm like, I think I played that song till Minnesota.
Oh,
I just kept
gosh.
rewinding and playing it. And it was tough because I had built a life there, a good life, I think, and good friends, good people, good qualities. I saw myself going to high school there, going, who knows, whatever else would have came from it. So that was a very difficult time to say goodbye. It was.
Yeah, well, I was with you there too, as I
Yeah.
left my girlfriend behind. And we look back and we say, why did we go? Why didn't we just stay back? And our parents could have went, but I think we're a close family. We do things together, and
Mhm.
it didn't seem like it's something that we even considered staying back.
I was only
And
13. So
you couldn't, but in myself, I'm saying. But in hindsight, though, us leaving really just set us up for what we were to become later. So, I mean, things just work out and things happen for a reason. That's something that I've always believed in, and my wife is a firm believer in. I'm glad that as hard as it was and painful as it was, we got to go there and start a new life and start new careers. And thankfully, just a few short years after that, my wife, Lori, ends out there and we get back together and we're married. So it's 30, 5 years of marriage already. So it's just crazy.
it really is. And I think about the things that I've done now as an adult and what I did after I came back to Jersey. I don't necessarily know if I would have been able to do those kind of things in North Dakota if I stayed, just because of the different kind of environment that New Jersey and New York were obviously to North Dakota.
Yeah.
How many nightclubs would I have been to in North Dakota? Probably none. How many things that I have seen DJing? Probably none. So it was one of those things that, yes, everything happens for a reason. And I get that. And I understand that completely. But all the good things that happened in our life in New Jersey and all the bad things that happened too. Obviously, everything wasn't good.
Yeah.
We ended up back in North Dakota again. Both of us.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess, and I know that you were asked specifically about what kind of got you there. And so, so this was 2001.
Yeah.
And we had spent about 16 years in the Northeast raising our kids there. And then we decided that my wife's sister was pretty ill and she really wanted to get back home. She wanted to also raise kids the way we were raised in North Dakota.
Sure.
So we decided to move, and we sold our house. We had built a home in Pennsylvania, and we decided to just sell it, move, and start over. And it's funny because you would think, would we go back to rugby? No, we didn't go back to rugby. We talked about it, and we just didn't think we wanted to be a little bit closer to Bismarck. My wife has family in Rugby and in Bismarck, in the Fargo area, and so on. But we know we didn't want to be in Fargo. We know we didn't want to be back in Rugby again, just close enough to be able to visit, and then but closer to Bismarck. But we didn't want to be in Bismarck. So my wife goes and she's looking at a map, and we're looking at, let's see, Washburn is here. Oh, here's this town Hazen over here. And she starts doing a little just kind of research. We don't know anybody in Hazen. And she goes through, she sees this place. I think I really like this town. This is all like just, we had internet and everything. It's not as extensive as it is today where you can do so much research, but whatever research we did there, and we took a chance and we went to Hazen. And that ended up being a really good move for us because our kids did great. My youngest went from kindergarten all the way through graduating high school there. Yep. And so all three kids went through Hazen, finished up in Hazen. And so that's how we ended back. And in that time, then mom retired.
She did, yeah.
And so I asked her to come out because she was all by herself in New Jersey.
Yeah, I was actually moving to North Carolina at that time.
Okay, yeah.
So
I guess
she would have been.
You can pick up the story.
Oh, it's fine. I was going to North Carolina. I was married and 3 kids, 2 stepkids and 3 children. So 5 kids.
I'm hearing a hint of a song in the background. Endless love. Oh, sorry.
We already know about that one.
Right.
Anyhow, but thank you, Lionel.
Yes.
So 5 kids. My wife. We moved to North Carolina. I'm working down there. I'm doing loss prevention for Kohl's Corporation, and things were, the first year or so were pretty good, and then things got obviously pretty bad for me, and then eventually ended up in me and my wife getting divorced. I wasn't going to stay in North Carolina. I was going through a really bad time. And I remember me and you talking a little bit, and you said, why don't you come out to North Dakota, man? Just start over. And I was just like, North Dakota, I'm going to go back there again. But at the same time, I have a support system there. My brother was there, my sister-in-law, my nephews and niece, my mom. And I remember telling my kids, like, hey, we're moving to North Dakota. And we get there and we get to this town of Hazen. And I was like, what the heck am I doing in Hazen? What is going on here? There's nothing here. It was
what year was that?
That was 2012. So I've actually been back for 8 years now.
Okay.
In August was 8 years that I've been back in North Dakota. You know what? Now, as all that craziness of moving to Hazen, it was the best thing I ever did coming back. The best thing I ever did, for sure. Even though you left a year after I got there because your kids were going to college and you had the plan of going to Arizona already. You guys had a house down there and that was the plan. But being near mom was good. And I was literally lived 3 doors away from mom. So I was pretty close to her. And then, of course, with everything going on when she got diagnosed with leukemia and her cancer, I was here for her to be nearby. Obviously, if you were here, you would have been here, of course, without a doubt. You were in Arizona and kept things close for her. And our uncle is here too. And we have cousins here also. We do have family here in North Dakota that we all came back. Something, I'm not saying, but something brought us back. There's a reason for that we all came back here. We could have went anywhere. I could have moved to Iowa. I could have moved to, California. Oh, not California, but I could have moved somewhere else other than those. But why North Dakota? Because obviously of the memories, the quality of life we had, the people. And I remember the first day I got back to one of the first days I got back to North Dakota, Lou, it was my oldest son's birthday. Mm-hmm. I guess I only have one son, so he would be my oldest. It was my son's birthday. I wanted to give him a nice birthday, obviously coming to a new place. It was all new. And my friend Marley showed up where I was at. We went to Bismarck, and she showed up at the restaurant we were and hung out with us.
That's
You know,
awesome.
and that's the kind of people. That's what North Dakota brings to the table. That good quality, that everlasting friendships, that whole kind of thing. It makes me want to stay. I'm comfortable. I'm happy, and that's a good thing. And it's just a strong bond to North Dakota, for sure.
Yeah, it used to be, we used to think that New Jersey was home, but in
Yeah,
reality, it means a lot. Don't get me wrong. We still love Jersey,
sure.
but North Dakota's home.
It really is. I do have a mixed feeling because I do have strong bonds to Jersey, and Jersey has been very good to me in a lot of ways. But at the same time, it's like when I would go back, like after we moved back, and I would fly to New Jersey to go back to visit, and it was like, oh, I'm going back home, and then you got together with all my crazy friends and crazy dumb stuff that we did.
Yeah.
I couldn't wait to come back.
Yeah.
Like it was actually nice to get on that plane and land in that huge Bismarck airport with 2 terminals
Mm-hmm.
and just be like, oh, you know what? It's nice. I'm home and I can breathe good quality air again. I'm not choking on smog and pollution. No offense, Jersey. I love you. It's just that whole, like you said, it feels like home. And no, it's a good feeling to be back home. That's what I should say.
Yeah.
It's good to be home. Yeah. Yeah. Without a doubt.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So I guess that wraps up our rugby. Talked about coming back. So hopefully, I think it was Danny that was asking about.
Dan wanted to know it so bad. Yeah. So I hope this holds you over for a little bit, buddy, because I think going forward now we are gonna move to Jersey a little bit in some of our podcasts, and so we don't want to lose our North Dakota people. But we're hoping this is going to interest you because there's a lot of stuff in Jersey that happened for us that I think a lot of you guys might want to know. I think I'd be curious. Yeah.
Yeah, it fills in the gaps. So we talked about how you started, we went, but came back and talked a lot about North Dakota. So it's nice to talk about to fill in those years from when you left and when you came back.
I agree. Yeah. There's a lot of things in those gaps. We were gone. We left in 84. I came back in 2012. That's a long time.
It sure is.
What was that 30 years almost, right? 28 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. 28 years. So a lot happened.
We didn't talk some music in this episode because we talked about
a little bit.
Band. Yeah. But
you brought up Endless Love. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Not the best memory there. Sorry, bro.
No, if I ever got married again, that would not be my wedding song. I tell you that.
No,
definitely not.
But just so you know, I think the number one song for 1982 was "I Love Rock and Roll," Joan Jett. How cool is that?
That's a great song. Great song. And that was probably like the beginning of those, like 82, 83, in those times. Was that like the kind of like the beginning of the Journey, the Faithfully and that kind of stuff? Or was that a little bit later, Lou?
Yeah, I think just a little bit later. I think. Okay. I remember another cool song from that period was Jay Giles, Centerfold.
Oh, great song. Great song.
Yep.
I always remember in the video, the drummer, when he's banging on the snare drum, it's
Milk.
You remember that? Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah. The video, again, MTV generation, guys, the videos, you remember those things. I know you do.
Sure.
I remember one song that was really big at the school dances was Chicago. I think it was Hard to Say I'm Sorry.
Great song.
Yeah.
That's actually one of my wife's favorite songs.
Is it really?
It is.
It was a great song to dance to, the slow dance. So I always remember that. Like that song would come on and all the guys would run across the gym floor to try to grab a girl to dance with. So
yeah,
just one of those memories.
Another quick little thing. Number one movie
in 82?
E.T. Phone Home.
Ah, E.T. Elliot. Yeah. Reese's Pieces and Elliot. Yeah.
That's it.
And Drew Barrymore.
Oh, that's right.
Oh my gosh.
So
that's funny.
That's I think that's 82 and 84 and wrapped up North Dakota a little bit there.
Yeah, and I think there'll be times when we'll come back and talk about things for sure. We'll remember something and come back and talk about North Dakota. We're not done with rugby in any sense of it, I don't believe. Still quite a bit.
Yeah, I think what'll be fun, and maybe this is our next episode. Why don't we talk food on the next episode? What do you think?
Like from where, though?
Okay, so what we can do is we can talk about Jersey food, but then we could also talk about the stuff in North Dakota, which it's really different than we were used to coming from New Jersey.
Okay. All right. So Yeah, a lot different for sure. Like it's like complete A to Z, like on the spectrum. It's not even
Yes.
close. I don't
Yeah.
believe.
So that might be fun to
Okay.
because we all know that Jersey, New York pizza is fabulous, and
The best.
but
Oh,
what
wait,
about hot stuff pizza in North Dakota?
okay, so funny story about hot stuff pizza. When I first moved here, I was like, "Where can I get pizza at, Mom?" And Mom was like, "Oh, you can go to Hot Stuff and get pizza." And I was like, "Okay." And so I go in with this conception that it's going to be Jersey pizza. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, okay. And all of a sudden, I walk in, I see people sitting there with knives and forks, like cutting this pizza up, and I'm like, "Oh God, what's going on?" And so I bit into this pizza, and I was like, "Am I eating the pizza or the box? What's going on here?" It was terrible, and I'm sorry, Hot Stuff, but there's some places in Hazen that had some pretty good pizza. One of the bars over there
Where was
had
that?
good. Jimmy's Bar had good pizza.
Okay.
That when I say good, it's not Jersey.
It's relative. It's relative to yes.
I would order it. I would sit there and be okay with eating that. But
yeah, because you adapt to what you have.
well, sure.
And at some point, you look forward to hot stuff pizza because that's all you had in Hazen, essentially.
Yeah, you have no choice. You have to. And
But
it's just like someone from North Dakota.
What was good?
What's that?
We used to go over to Beulah and go to the Pizza Ranch. At least that was closer, and it had good chicken over there.
So Pizza Ranch was closed when I moved there.
Oh, you didn't get to partake?
No, but I partake in it quite frequently here in Mandan, Bismarck area.
Very good, very good.
And I do love their chicken. Their chicken is phenomenal. Really good chicken. Pizzas, chicken is good.
Yeah.
I don't go for the. Right. That's why it's called. It should be called the Chicken Ranch because the chicken's much better than the pizza, without a doubt.
That sounds like that's a place in Las Vegas, the Chicken Ranch.
There's actually a place in Jersey called Frank's Chicken House, too.
Oh, okay.
And it's not what you think. It's not chicken, trust me. But remember when we moved back, I'm going to tell the story leading into the food part. Remember when we got back to Jersey, we went to the mall. Okay?
Yeah.
And I think there was the four of us, me, you, Mom, and Dad. And there was a pizzeria in the mall. God, I don't remember the name of it. I want to say it's like Celentanos or Cicio's or
something like that. Yeah,
something like that. I don't remember. And we both worked in the mall at one point, so we're all ordering food. I'm like, yeah, I'll get a slice, and you get a slice, and Mom orders it. And then Dad comes up, Mr. New Jersey, and he goes, yeah, let me get a sausage sub. and we all looked at him like we had three heads. We're like, sausage? Now.
It's sausage. We're Jersey.
People, especially people that know me, they know like at work, I'm like, yeah, let me get a coffee. Let me get a sauce. I always say sausage. I'm not saying sausage. And Dad came out. He sounded so, oh my God. He was just like, can I have a sausage sub? And we were just like, oh my God, what happened? So that's what's leading.
He was Dakota-fied.
Oh my goodness, yeah, and so that's leading to what we're going to be expecting for the food episode.
Oh yeah, I think but, hopefully we didn't give away too much, but I think that'll be fun to talk about all that stuff.
Oh my God, sausage!
Oh man, too funny.
Good stuff, man. So what do you think?
I think it's a wrap.
I think we'll wrap it up here. Yeah. Again, all I can say is that thank you for everyone that's listening. Again, we really appreciate the support. We love the feedback. We want to interact with you guys. We really do. I love the interactions. I love when I get a message or a comment from someone. I'd love to see more of those. But we do appreciate all the support, all the downloads. Let's keep them coming. Keep sharing. Remember, we are on Facebook. We're on Instagram. Our email, if you want to email us, is backintimebrothers@gmail.com. And feel free to reach out. We will respond. And that's all I really got, except for thank you, Rugby, for some great years. Really appreciate that. What do you think?
Yeah. And just grateful for all the great years.
Like a champ, you got a wife out of the deal from Rugby, so you're doing pretty good.
I didn't do too bad.
Yeah, you did pretty good. Yeah, I'd say you did very well.
Very good.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's going to wrap our episode up for tonight. This Back in Time Brothers podcast. I am DJ Paulie, and I got my brother Lou, and we will see you next week. Have a good one, guys.
See you guys.